world is becoming more unglued by the day. Local consequences are now showing up. We are seeing sky-high gas prices, higher food prices, shortages, and more. How should you respond? Go to redpills.tv/patriot. That's redpills.tv/patriot. And secure your long-term emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply is by far the largest preparedness company in America. They're in stock and shipping quickly in unmarked boxes to your door. Their emergency food supplies last up to 25 years in storage. When you need it, it'll be there. Lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks totaling over 2,000 calories a day. Get free shipping on any order over $99. Again, go to redpills.tv/patriot.
From the spaceship in the sky to the simulation in the mind. Let's all embark on another journey of Conversations on the Fringe.
And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday's show on the Repill Project. This is Conversations on the Fringe. Josh is away tonight, so I'm filling in for him. Normally, I am Josh's co-host on the Daily Dose from time to time, as well as the host of a morning show that has been on hiatus for about a month and a half called Morning Coffee on all platforms that are Repill Project. So if you are new here, my name is Vince Tagliavia, and I'm so happy to be back here with all of you. And I have a special guest tonight. He is my friend, Jimbob Ovalshorts. Super excited. Y'all? He loves diving into the mysterious, the fringe, the funny, and the comical. All of the above, everything from A to Z. And so he's always a wonderful guest. He also co-hosts the Saturday show on the Repill Project called Makes You Think, where we cover things like we are covering tonight. And Jimbob Ovalshorts, you have your own show. You have your website here as well. Let me share. It is called Unconstitutional Awakening. You guys, if you go to unconstitutionalawakening.com, you can find out everything, podcasts, social. Just log in, sign up, become a part of their thing. You can see on the screen here the website, Unconstitutional Awakening, and their dumpster fire. It's good stuff. And tell us about your podcast, Jimbob. How's it going? What are you up to?
Oh man, podcast is going great. We're having a blast. We're about to do episode 100 tomorrow. That'll be up during the day tomorrow.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And we're also doing a deep dive docu-series on pirates. That part 2 will be up on Sunday, because I try to post an episode on Sundays too, because not too many folks got new content on Sundays. It's usually a day off. I take the day off too, but I feel it's been a good thing. But yeah, we're about to hit consecutive episode 100, and man, we've had some interesting guests while you've been on hiatus from this and stuff. No, I had a guy that went inside of Mount Shasta, or claims to, and did a world premiere of some artifacts from inside of there on an episode of my show.
That's cool. What did he have?
Like it's pretty wild. Like we always got good stuff going on, and we've got some new co-hosts, and
Awesome, dude.
It's always moving and going, man. Like just like it is over here. But we've missed you, bro. Like, man, I've missed hanging out with you on the weekend.
Well, we're back. So, sorry. So starting Monday, back to normal schedule. Tonight, though, usually we have 2 shows on Friday night. One is a private show for members of the Social Red Pill with Joshua Reed. He does a show that's private. We do a private broadcast, but tonight we're not going to do a show. But if you want to get involved with meeting with myself, Jimbob, as always, you're invited to this after the show tonight, anytime. If you want to see me, and Josh is going to jump in later tonight, then join the Social Red Pill. That's Josh's private social network for the Red Pill family, socialredpill.com. It's in the description. It's free to join, or you can support with a subscription. But if it's the free account, you get access to everything, and it's a nice social media platform. Anything goes. Share what you want. Just be polite and respectful. But it's a great community, so please go there. There will be a Zoom link under the events tab where our community is going to come together, have a good old time tonight. I'll be on shortly after this show ends. Pardon me, I'll be on shortly after this show. I just got to eat some dinner because I'm having a late dinner tonight. I've been just going at it, but I'll be on there at about 8 p.m. Pacific or 8:30 p.m. Pacific, which is 11:30 Eastern time. And I'm sorry about my light. My lighting keeps adjusting. If I put my hands up, I look good, and actually probably too bright. If I put them down, I get orange. I couldn't figure it out, you guys, but
You need to get you a pirate flag for behind you, and then you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff.
There's a guy in my community that has a pirate flag. I'm like, oh man.
underneath the freedom flag, I do have me a Jolly Roger.
God. Dude, that's awesome. Cool. I wouldn't mind a pirate flag. Well, tonight, you guys, what do we have in store for you? Well, we're going to be talking about a few different things. And Jim Bob, we went through a few things that we want to talk about, which is like strange monsters and this kind of thing. And we started talking about dinosaurs and stuff.
Well, there's
what?
so many different kinds of interesting dinosaur sightings.
There are. But dude, when I started researching this stuff, I started thinking about fossils, obviously, because you think dinosaurs, you think bones, right? Because that's why we even know what dinosaurs are. And then also I started thinking of, how old's the Earth and these different eras, because today's episode is called the Mesozoic Mysteries, right? Which is named after the Mesozoic era, which is known as the Age of Reptiles or the Age of Conifers, which they say, mainstream science says, it was from 252 to 66 million years ago. And the skeptic that I am, I'm like, all right, let me read up again on carbon dating. Let me do this. So I spend a lot of time looking up at carbon dating, fossils, and this kind of stuff, right? So I want to start out talking about that, if you don't mind. And I know we have a lot of stuff to go through, but
let's get it.
I will just say this. I'm a skeptic. Okay. Are dinosaurs real? Probably. Are all the ones that we found accurate? I don't think so, and that's kind of been proven. A lot of the early dinosaurs put together, which dinosaurs weren't being put together until the mid-19th century. And a lot of those that were put together in that time period in the beginning have been proven to be inaccurate bullshit. And I will say this as well. I'll keep my hands up. There's never been a full, complete dinosaur fossil found. Like every single bone.
This is a fact.
This is a fact. Which is just absolutely insane to me. So,
I mean,
I take it you're a skeptic as well.
Oh, see now, when we start asking me this question, I'm a big believer in dragons, and I'm a big believer in the existence of giant lizard creatures, but I don't think they're the ancient dinosaurs we're told they are. Because when you are digging around, I'm not sure how far you got, but there's a bunch of ancient, like, cave paintings and stuff that not only have mammoths, but also depict dinosaur-type creatures.
Okay.
And, not all these cave paintings are ancient, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe carbon dating's a load of crap because things turn to fossils quicker than they claim they do.
Okay, true. Rocks can form very quickly. I was doing a little bit of digging into fossils, and I discovered that the way they do this carbon dating is by looking at carbon. and the the isotopes in carbon, because you have atoms, right? So you have carbon, you have different elements and whatnot. Well, each element has different amounts of isotopes, and they decay over time. So you have different types of carbon. I think it's like carbon 7 and carbon 8 are the most common types of carbon. If you find these other types of carbon, then they slowly decay. You could measure the ratios and figure out how old stuff is. The problem with that is, I was reading about somebody claiming that there's never been, you can't prove it, right? Because you can't validate it. It's not very scientific in that way, where you know how old a rock is, you carbon date it, and you validate it. When Mount St. Helens blew up in Washington State. Does that make sense? Yeah, when that blew up, they took some rocks and they carbon dated them, and they knew those rocks weren't old at all. They said that these are like 30 years old or something crazy, which is, rocks form quickly, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. Apparently. Well, the carbon dating came back anywhere from, relatively short period of time to 2 million years, or almost 2 million years in the future. So that just goes to show how inaccurate it was. They're like, no, we know these rocks are very new because they were just formed by this volcano, I guess, or something along those lines. So right there, it's never been validated. That throws this huge this huge wrench into carbon dating for me. And that's how they carbon date these fossils they find, which, okay, the fossils are just, can we talk about what fossils are? Because this sounds like bullshit to me too. And maybe I'm ignorant. And you guys leave your comments, let me know what you think. But we're told that bones, an animal dies, and then there's a rain and it floods, and their bones get buried with sediment fairly quickly. And layers and layers of sediment get put on top. Dirt, ash from volcanoes, just over hundreds of thousands and millions of years. It adds up, it compacts, it fills, they get waterlogged, and then the bone turns to stone. So it's no longer bone, it's a fossil, it's a stone. And they can carbon date that stuff. It just seems like woo-woo.
You want to know what turned me to question their idea of it? And I sent you the link in the chat here.
Okay.
It's about the dog Stucky.
Yeah.
That completely fossilized inside of a tree trunk from the 1960s.
Whoa.
And it took less than 50 years for him to turn to complete stone.
50 years. Meet Stucky, the mummified dog who has been stuck in a tree for over 15 years. Found by loggers. Could you imagine? Oh, that's so sad.
I mean, it is a super sad story, but it puts a big battle in that it takes this long for something to be a fossil or something to turn the stone, because I mean that's a short period of time compared to what they claim, is otherwise.
That's wild.
And then I've also seen some studies recently about how they have to carbon date a lot of things, because they found out the way they were carbon dating things was highly inaccurate.
Yes. Well, you can't actually carbon date something. Oh, I read this too. They're like, carbon dating is inaccurate now. Like, if you carbon dated some bones of somebody who died 100 years ago, or if I died today, and God forbid, and then in 50 years someone digs up my bones, they can't date them accurately because global warming, which is bullshit in my opinion. Because of the carbon content in the atmosphere is changing so dramatically from humans, they can't accurately carbon date it. Which, here's my question: how do you know how much carbon was in the atmosphere a million years ago? You don't.
Yes.
Same thing with, what's that stupid fake science called?
Which fake science called? There's a lot of them.
Dendrochronology. It's what they use a lot of times to do historical.
Oh, yeah.
Historical weather data, which is they look at the tree rings and they say like, ooh, a lot of rain that year. Ooh, this and that. Ooh, global warming's gonna kill us all 30 years ago. Oh. So this is it reminds me of that science where they look at the tree rings, whether you look at carbon dating and all these kinds of things. That's all I'm saying. And so it's weird, but I do think there are dinosaurs. Maybe, I don't know if there are today. Of course, there are birds, which they say came from dinosaurs, but then we get into evolution and all that, and I don't know.
Well, I think that would be a good place then, I guess, on some of the more recent dinosaur type things, which is, I guess it's not too recent, but it's like post Civil War and in the early to mid 1900s, you start running across what is locally known down here in the South
Yeah.
as a thunderbird,
Yeah.
which looks a lot like a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
And, you want to get into why I'm kind of nutty and wear this hat.
I could pull that up.
We're not sure to this day, and there was multiple people in this situation, if it was a thunderbird or a dragon, but it sure as hell wasn't an eagle, and it was way too big to be fathomable as anything else down here in some of the old creek cave systems of Georgia. So
Yeah. And I heard about a lot of sightings in the Carolinas in the States. So I have this
Yeah,
pulled up.
dude.
Could you see my screen?
and there's quite a few of these pictures, and I mean these are, a lot of people try to just shoot it down as
I'm
that's
skeptical
definitely
about
Photoshop, but that's a really good Photoshop job if that's Photoshop.
There's a lot of them too. So I don't know if they're real or not, but here's an old-timey photo of a pterodactyl, which is a dinosaur. Is it real? We don't know, but I guess they're calling this a thunderbird as well.
Yep.
Which
Yeah.
I've heard these dinosaurs, these ancient birds and thunderbirds could get just astonishingly massive. Here's another one.
And that was like a little bit later in the years, you know what I mean? Like that, you can see that's a little more modern than the first picture.
Yeah. And
I mean, there's stories to go with these and witnesses and stuff like that. And
yeah, look at that.
that's one of the oldest photos of it. And I mean,
200
I like to
years.
believe because, hey, I do a lot of Photoshop myself and meme making, but this would be some hellacious Photoshop if that's Photoshopped.
Mm-hmm. Or they create like a dummy bird.
A prop.
Yeah, which is possible.
Plausible. I won't deny it.
Yeah, so this is 1977. 3 teenage people from Lawndale, Illinois. They talked about being hunted until one of their buddies was grabbed by a large bird. Wait, what? They were... Yeah, huh. Here's a footprint. Fossil. Yeah, so pretty cool. And Josh, if you guys don't know, there are some new people here to the show. Josh has actually seen one of these birds that are just absolutely massive when he was in the Navy out over, I think he was in the Pacific, far out there, and had a sighting. So you'll have to ask about that next Friday when Josh is back. Maybe he'll go into it, or the show after the show, Friday, Fringe After Dark. He likes to tell the story. If you ask him, he'll tell you. It's pretty badass and awesome. So yeah, I think that that is
My
phenomenal.
sighting wasn't super badass, but
What?
it was still kind of cool to see a giant bird that is unexplainable.
Yeah, and people have even seen odd sightings. I was reading about one sighting of a bird that we know is an actual bird in existence that exists in Russia, but they spotted it in Maine, and it's kind of like an eagle. I forget what it is, but just odd. People see weird shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
pretty cool.
I mean, and I don't put it past it, because I mean, when you start technically looking at things, we know nothing about this planet. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know nothing about the ocean. There's still places that are so overgrown that we're discovering new species almost every day in like the rainforests and Africa and South America and what's
Yeah.
hidden out there. You know what I'm saying? Like they're finding whole ancient civilizations thanks to deforestation in South America.
True, dude. Before we get into South America, because that's coming up here, I want to look at some fossils.
Yeah.
And I pulled up just some
But I mean,
bullshit.
this goes right
So-
along with it. So, like, how fossilized are the things that they're finding in these places? How old is it really?
Yeah, dude, I have no clue, and I just go by what they're saying because I don't have a counter answer, but I just know that this can't be validated. But here is natural history. The Natural History Museum, if you guys went there, you might have seen these displayed. I forget what year they displayed them, but let me share this with Jimbob too at the same time. So, David H. Koch Hall of Fossils, Deep Time. Scroll down. Oh wait, here we go. I thought they had a slideshow here. This is kind of what I wanted to show you guys. So
Ooh.
they claim to have a fossil of a Tyrannosaurus Rex eating a Triceratops. So they want you to believe that a Triceratops was getting chewed on by a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and they somehow got buried by sediment and fossilized. Okay, just weird shit, right? Come on.
Something sounds fishy.
Yeah, here's an Irish elk. Let's move on. We've got a saber-toothed cat. T-Rex. Oh, that's the close-up of the T-Rex biting the other dinosaur. A trilobite. Palm frond, which is just a palm tree frond. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But look at this. There's another very similar type of fossil of some fighting dinosaurs. Okay. So this is the fossil, fighting dinosaurs. And it looks like BS. There's a kind of dinosaur laying down. The head is on the right upper corner. And one's laying on its side. And there's one with its foot, in its mouth, it looks like. And the tail on the far left bottom. And the tail on the far right bottom. Okay. So, their explanation for this, which, by the way, that's a really shitty fossil.
Right? I mean, this.
So there are several interpretations. One of which was they were fighting in the desert, and there was sand collapsed and buried them, and then they were fossilized. There's other claims too, but they're just also outlandish. And if that's the case, where are the rest of the bones?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They're buried very quickly and they fossilize. It's like, then where are the rest of the bones? Well, a lot of stuff happens between then and now. It's like, but you never found the complete skeleton of any of them, like that dog. Like, come on. It's just fishy. That's all I'm saying, guys. It's just so
I agree. No, I agree. There's something fishy there.
And they're rare already. There's only like a few dozen T-Rex skeletons in the world that we know of that are none of them are complete. I think one of them might be like 90-something% complete, but who knows?
This actually inspired a meme.
Yeah? What's the meme?
Yeah.
A meme idea? Or did you make it already?
Oh, no, it's already made, bro.
You want to share it?
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says that it's disabled.
Oh, fuck. That's my fault. Okay. Go for it. Meme. Do you want to explain?
Oh, it's got a joke on it. It says a local museum has a new dinosaur exhibit. Don't know if it's popular. Don't know if it'll be popular. Remains to be seen.
It's a stand-up comic dinosaur.
It's a stand-up comic T-Rex.
Remains to be seen. Dude, that's pretty good.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm cheesy.
That's a cheesy dad joke.
Yeah, we get a lot of those around here. Sorry.
That's all right, dude. I'm about it. Trogdor. Oh, gosh. Here we go. Nate's asking, where's Josh? Josh is busy tonight, but he will jump into the after chat tonight. So just a reminder, you guys, that's not going to be live streamed, but if you want to participate, head over to socialredpill.com, go to the events tab, and join the Zoom. Also, when I jump in, I'll post a link in the normal feed, and you guys will see it. You can join us. And Jimbob, of course, you can join, as I said. And can't wait to see the Red Pill family. And we're back, or I'm back. I just have to say, Josh's show, I'm trying to catch it as much as I can. It's just so phenomenal this week or this month, the last month and a half. I can't believe it. I can't believe the stuff that's going on. Unbelievable. And he had David Whitehead on again the other day. Just such a great episode. He did like a breakdown of the esoteric stuff involving the Queen and their bloodlines and all that. It was so fantastic. If you guys haven't seen that, go back and check it out. I think that was last week on Conversations on the Fringe. Anyway, awesome meme. Definitely post that. Okay, so what else we got here? Okay, another weird thing that makes me highly skeptical is the story is mainstream that in 1842 they came up with Dinosauria by discovering fossils, and from there they started putting them together. Eventually they had the War of Bones, where people were just putting bones together and racing and sabotaging each other and all this political nonsense. And however, before 1842, aside from what you told me about these cave paintings, which I was unaware of, there's no real records of past civilizations discovering dinosaur bones or dinosaurs. I'd like to see if I could find those images you were talking about, though. Or if you can, send it, but I'm going to move on for now. So, have you heard of, like, the theory, and this gets into, like, kind of the religious aspects, too, where some sects of Christianity believe that the Earth is very young, a few thousand years old, 6,000 years old, I think is commonly said, and that humans walked the earth with dinosaurs because God created us at the same time, and blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying that's what some people believe.
I think there's ones that, I think there's ones that existed and or still possibly exist, but not the ones that we're told exist in their fake, in their fake museums.
Yeah, so... damn it, I can't really show this website too well, but there are apparently alleged pictures, it's such a shitty website, of human and dinosaur tracks together. Oh, sorry guys, here we go. Let me share this better. So you got a human print and then a dinosaur print, allegedly. Here's a good one. Got dinosaur going that way and human going that way. And so people are saying this is proof the timeline's bogus. But then they go and they carbon date it and it gets all screwed up. Because
interesting.
I don't think it's very, very reliable. And they say the oldest human fossils, which take it with a grain of salt because who knows? They claim, according to this website, oldest.org, the 9 oldest human fossils in the world, 680,000 to 780,000 Homo erectus, an incomplete human-ish skull in China, discovered in 1921. 700,000 to 1 million years ago, Homo erectus, Indonesia, discovered in 1891. In 1936, they discovered this one. They say it is aged between 1.43 and 1.49 million years. Mojo Kerto child, which is just like the top of the skull. Another one, 1.5 to 1.6 million years. 1.8 million years. Homo erectus Georgicus. I'm sorry, guys. I don't pronounce these scientific names very well. And another one, 1.8 million years old. 1.9. So I don't believe these dates at all. Who's to say this wasn't 400 years ago and that their dating is just flawed, I don't know. Shit. I just can't. I can't help myself, dude. I'm glad I'm in good company.
It's good to question it because again, like it's there's so many things that are taught that are literally just theories, but they're taught as facts, and this is another one of those situations, I believe.
Yeah, and you know how history's a lie? I think that there's really a lot to Tartaria and that whole conspiracy that has a lot to substantiate the claims, which is a theory that prior to about 200 years ago, all of history is a lie. What was my point? My point is that we discovered dinosaurs at about the time history became a lie. And I wonder if there's any connection there between the end of Tartaria and then the beginning of the bullshit. Like, oh, dinosaurs are real and blah, blah, whatever, you know? This is their reality. It's about that time.
It really is.
So I wonder, what if all those fossils, all those other humans, all that other stuff was just right prior to that period where there was the mud flood and all this stuff around the world and all these, all the past civilization was kind of wiped out. And then you have the gold rush and all this weird nonsense. History, man. We got to do an episode on Tartaria, but I want to do a lot of research. Maybe do a multi-series.
Man, I have. Listen, I got a lady I'm gonna connect you with on Facebook, and she's like the descendant of like a Tartarian princess, bro. I swear to you, because she has so much just information and conversation, and I've like actually got to talk to her, not just on like the internet or whatever like that, like actually on the phone and stuff. Her accent's real heavy because she's in Romania.
Cool.
But she is just slam full of alternative information, and I've learned much from her over the years, and like just she's pretty amazing. I gotta introduce you guys.
If you wanted to introduce her, I would love to chat.
Because I mean, it's that kind of stuff, you know. But you were making, claim about when they were inventing like the word dinosaur and stuff. You know, if you put this into perspective, when they founded America, nobody knew of dinosaurs.
True.
But it was very still regularly accepted worldwide, the belief in dragons.
True. Globally. Yeah, like you said, worldwide, same thing.
So that's why I think sometimes things have been altered. And you know, it's funny you made that mention about that time, because when you get into like the Tartaria time frame and the missing 293 years, I think the mainstream media is even calling it now, that's missing from history technically. It falls around that time where dinosaurs are first being mentioned and stuff like that, and kind of lines up with a lot of that changing of history timeline.
And it came from, like, where were they? Who's the guy and where was he from? I think he's from England because he was dealing with
James Smithson and his stuff after the Smithsonian, or the dinosaur guy.
The Dinosauria creator.
So there's a really cool thing with that too. A lot of people are gonna say that you can find this, that the dude was a Mason, but talking to my Mason friend and doing my research, that I don't know if you've been keeping up with a little bit about the Frankists.
I haven't.
He's one of them.
Who is this? Who is he? Who is?
The guy who come up with the term Dinosauria.
Oh, okay, Sir Richard Owen.
Yep.
Yeah, so this guy's interesting. He actually debated with like Darwin about evolution. He had slightly different ideas about how evolution worked. And he's from the UK. And he was honored. He was like given housing by the monarchy or something crazy, and they say his discoveries were pretty much useless because everything they put together was wrong.
Yes. But there's a really neat picture that when you first search his name, that's him standing beside like a pair of giant legs and a spine.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be his first dinosaur that he pieced together or whatever.
So if I do an image search, you say? Or just normal search?
Yeah, I just image searched on
I'm using DuckDuckGo.
Gearboo. That's something that I use. I'll have to hook you up with. It's like a Wayback Machine. It shows you the things that Google censors.
Right. He looks really strange, by the way.
Doesn't he?
Here's just him, normal. Just really creepy. Extremely creepy. But here's that picture you were talking about. him with his discovery. Ah, Dinosaurus! I do declare. Good for you.
Dude looks extra creepy, like the thing of nightmares.
Yeah, I'd like to do some dig. We could dig into the history of this guy, and figure out what the heck's going on. Like, dude, you found a giraffe, bro. Come on, this little head with these big ass legs. Get out of here. See, it was probably wrong.
He found like a dog's head, and like a deer's spine, and he might have found ostrich legs.
I don't know.
But that is
But
not
it is
a dinosaur.
odd.
Sir.
It is odd that they find these fossils, right? I have to admit. Oh.
I mean, I don't doubt that they find bones, but I think they're finding bones from like extinct, probably now, maybe not extinct, but very very endangered and hidden. Like dead creatures and stuff like that. Because I buy into giants and stuff like that, and I believe that we had a higher oxygen count way back when,
Which is a
and
theory.
things were a lot larger, like trees and people and animals, and
That's one of the things they said killed the dinosaurs, was because of the asteroid and volcanoes and things, that the oxygen level decreased, causing them all to die. One theory.
I mean, look at the best evidence we have of how we used to have giant trees everywhere is
Oh,
not
yeah.
only like cool old pictures, but what's left of the redwood forest.
Oh, really?
Like the redwood forest over there in California, there's trees that are ridiculous in size.
Yes.
Ridiculous in size. And like at one point in time, man, there was trees like that all over the Americas and the world and stuff. Like a lot of the trees we see today are young.
Get very young.
Very young. You don't see those old growth trees unless you're out wandering in some of these untouched areas of the woods.
That's very true.
Like I tend to do.
Very true. Very true.
But like those redwoods are like they are really the best example. I mean, they're so big that there's tunnels cut through them so cars can drive through them and stuff. Like that's ridiculous size of a tree. And think about that. Men were cutting those trees down with hand saws.
Yeah, insane. Wow, and
Like,
they had ridiculously long saws too.
and the stories of Paul Bunyan and his giant ox and stuff, that comes from somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. Jack and the Beanstalk too.
You can only have so many ideas without having the idea come from something somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like it's. I definitely think giants walked around. I definitely think there was giant things. I still think there are some giant things. I don't think all the dinosaurs. I don't think all the dinosaurs they say that existed exist, and I don't think that all of them are gone. Like I really believe there are still existing creatures like the thunderbirds and even like the Loch Ness monster type creatures that are all over the world.
In the water,
like
man.
Yeah, like we got one down in a river down here in Georgia. I met a really cool guy during my Bigfoot documentary that's been on the hunt for one up in the Northwest for many years.
Loch Ness Monster?
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, that's why I don't like the water that much. It's kind of scary.
Fair.
Like, ocean and like deep water, like lakes, and it's creepy. I do believe Bigfoot's real. There's just so much there. I mean, it's really odd though that we haven't just discovered it flat out. It's just so mysterious, and everything surrounding it is so bizarre, but there's so much there. I can't help but believe.
When you really do, the Men in Black show up, bro.
Really?
They got to. Come on.
Do they? I don't know. There's people out there that claim to have footprints. There's a lot of people who have footprints. A lot of people who claim to have hair and this kind of thing. But
I held a 3.5 I held a conversation on a Sunday afternoon with a guy that talks to Bigfoot. I'm going to be having him on my show soon because I just find it absolutely fascinating. But he talks to Bigfoot and has even met Dogman.
I would be so scared to talk to Bigfoot, dude. I would freak the fuck out. I couldn't handle it. I'm not ready. No way. Same thing with aliens. I would just freak out. Like, don't talk to me. Not right now. Gotta slow.
But what if the alien was you from the future?
Then I'd introduce myself slowly. It'd start with like an ominous letter or something. Yeah, Washington State does have them.
So you're telling me you're not into First Contact?
Not alone. If I was
Not
with
alone.
somebody, I'd feel better about it.
So, I mean, because me and Bandit keep joking around about wanting to go on the hunt for Wendigo, so you want to join?
Fuck. Wendigo? Isn't that like an evil dog? No, dude. No
Come on,
way.
bro.
Like, I wouldn't even go to...
Skinwalkers.
I
We're going
wouldn't
to go look
to
for
Skinwalker Ranch.
skinwalkers.
No. Hell no. Dude, that was really traumatizing. Have you read the Skinwalker Ranch stories?
I
That is
have.
next level trauma. Scary shit. Like, seriously, I didn't want nothing to do with that. Friendly alien, okay. With some friends, sure. But, dude, that's just scary. Bigfoot, scary. Bigfoot
I think
can be
Bigfoot,
scary
I think
or
Bigfoots are
not.
friendly.
Yeah, some of them. But they've also tortured people. Oh.
What do those people do that cause them Bigfoot to get mad?
No, I heard a story of one guy who had a cabin, and he'd go out to the cabin all the time by himself. Just loved nature, was out in the woods, so he goes to his cabin, right? And he hears footsteps. He sees something like in the edge of the trees, and he's like, "What the hell?" And this thing terrorizes him all night long, walking around his cabin, gets up on the roof, gets on the deck. He's just terrified the whole time, not moving, just like so terrified. It's tapping on all the walls, walking around all night. He walks out there the next day and he just sees it's snow. There was snow. He just sees the footprints from and to and from the forest, and then all the freaking, just like a path all the way around his cabin, footsteps everywhere, just like a weird stalker type thing. But Bigfoot does that too. He'll attack people, or he'll like go around and tap the cabin and like do shit.
So I
All
brought
night.
up a cool, and you can actually even check me on this, and like I dare you, go ahead, check me on it.
I will. What is
You
it?
can line up the Bigfoot sightings map
Okay.
to the cave system map
Oh.
and the missing people's map.
Okay.
All three line up together.
I believe that. Yeah, I've definitely heard of Bigfoot with missing 411 cases.
Because they live underground, bro. They live in inner Earth.
Probably. What if dinosaurs were just creatures
And
from the underground?
And dinosaurs are in there too, man. I think so.
Maybe.
Well,
Well,
like
here's...
the best evidence we could go to on dinosaurs existing that has like human beings in that area and throughout history saying yes, it's true, is the dinosaur in the Congo.
Which one's that?
There's a brontosaurus that is legendarily living deep within the Congo,
Really? Yeah.
and it's known to local people. Everybody that lives around there talks about seeing it. Even the people that live off grid, like deep in that wilderness, like the pygmy people and stuff,
Yeah.
they live with it kind of and stuff like that. Like there's that one Asian dude from Vice went on a big like adventure to try to go out there and find it, but he got to a point where he gave up because it
years
was
ago?
just too. Yeah,
David Cho?
yeah.
I love David Cho.
He went. He ended up giving up on the mission because he couldn't. He didn't want to risk going through a river where he was going to come out covered in leeches. And I was just like, "You should have been prepared, bro. You should have been prepared for any of this." Because I'd have been prepared. Like,
You're
let's
like,
go.
leeches
If you're,
are fine.
because they were willingly going to bring him to the dinosaur because that's how real it is to these people out there. So like, and it's supposed to be like a brontosaurus, like a medium size, like not gigantic, but big enough to stop a river if it laid down in it.
Yeah. Insane.
And it's been talked about by a lot of people, and a lot of people have it.
Your sound cut out. Your audio cut out. Or did my audio cut out? There you go.
Sorry.
Yeah, not see you. I'm good. So you said you were saying something. You just cut out like 10 seconds ago.
But there's all this written documentation and stuff that says that this dinosaur exists
That's
out
interesting.
there. Even like, adventures and stuff like
There's
that. Because
probably something to it then. I would say. About you were mentioning things living underground, and I think it's highly plausible. Based on Bigfoot, the cave systems, people going missing around cave systems, just the fact that we really haven't scratched the surface of the earth and explored. But one interesting thing is what we're taught in schools. This goes back to bullshit science, mainstream science, of you have your different layers of the earth that are all concentric spheres. You have your mantle and your crust and this molten layer and that molten layer, and that's all bullshit. It's actually well known that the earth is kind of lopsided, and that you have magma chambers that aren't concentric. It's all oblong, and the core is bullshit. That's fact. So, just saying. What is it really? I don't know what's going on, but they have mapped it out as best they can, and it's not just concentric circles. It's more complex, and it's diverse, and it's not perfect by any means. Not even close. Yeah. Chickens are tiny velociraptors.
yes,
Dinosaurs chase like turkey. Probably. And, yeah. Are rhinoceroses related to brontosauruses? I don't know, John. Sorry, go ahead.
no,
That's actually a good point, but yeah, go ahead.
like you see, I think even now they're trying to say that, after teaching us for years in like school and stuff that dinosaurs were covered in scales and like lizards, now they're like, now they're like, oh, they were more covered in feathers than they were scales.
Yeah.
And it's like, make up your mind, guys. Like,
They're like, well, we found feather fossils next to our bullshit bone fossils, so. But they're not the flying kind of bird. Don't get it twisted. It's like, okay.
and have you ever looked at how they try to recreate something based on a skeleton?
Yeah, it's bullshit because they have a partial skeleton and they guess. They look at a chicken and they say, "Oh, this is how a chicken's put together," and then they put the bones together like that, and then they fill in the gaps with bullshit bones.
Yep.
Because they never find the full skeleton. There's probably so much error in that. So
and like I seen a good picture. I've seen some pictures one time where you like look at the bones of a rabbit, for example, beside. If you looked at the bones of a rabbit, you wouldn't think that it was a rabbit until you put a rabbit back around it.
I know exactly what a rabbit skeleton looks like, and you're right. I wouldn't know unless you told me.
You'd think it was some kind of scary little alien thing.
Yeah, a rabbit skeleton. Let's pull it up.
I think it's a great example.
Yeah.
And so when you look at something like that, like what are these skeletons that they're pulling up or they're putting together? Like, what are they truly? Because a rabbit skeleton's kind of terrifying looking.
Yeah, come on.
Look at that. You wouldn't think that's a rabbit?
No, you'd think it's a creepy rat.
And if you let them put it back together, it wouldn't look anything like a rabbit.
Right? That's a great point. And I just want to touch on what John said. Is this dinosaur just this animal? And that's one theory I've seen, is that you have like I don't know the names of the dinosaurs because I think it's bullshit. But like the dinosaur with the long neck is really just a giraffe from a while ago that's now evolved into what a giraffe is today. And there's connections between different dinosaurs and modern day animals. Like this dinosaur looks kind of like this animal. This dinosaur looks like a chicken. This dinosaur looks like a turkey. Whatever. And that dinosaurs are just prior evolutionary states of modern day animals. You don't love it?
I mean, because there's already a lot of like prior evolutionary states, I guess, of these animals that like existed and are extinct. You know what I'm saying? Like there's early rhinos that had hair, elephants used to have
Oh yeah.
hair, and
So,
and things like that. Like there's
but before that, that could have been a dinosaur.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. Maybe. I think there's a lot of things that were here and they're either extinct now because of us, like humans just in general, or they have gone into hiding like inside Earth and stuff like that, like or just into hiding in general. Like there's I along the lines of all this kind of stuff, I don't believe the population of Earth is as big as they claim the population of Earth is.
Yeah, I don't know.
When you start getting away from population centers, there's no one. Like I live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I work a lot in the middle of nowhere, and I can be out all day and not see traffic. And
Yeah.
the closer I get to the population centers, the worse it gets. That's just because there's all these people funneled into one area.
I'd like to do a calculation, a small sample size calculation. Maybe do a city and estimate, or maybe do a small city and estimate the number of people there, and then see how that checks to a census, or kind of estimate.
Well, there was that thing that came out recently about how China said that they were wrong about their numbers and there was only in the hundreds of thousands walking around, not the, millions that they originally claimed.
Billions.
So, I mean, there's
It's possible, dude.
I don't know. Me and Bandit over there on Unconstitutional Awakening the podcast, we talk a lot about how that's just another one of those numbers that they use to pump like not only fear but also like scarcity so they can make things more expensive, like housing in a certain area and stuff. Like right now it's ridiculous to live in Atlanta, but
Yeah.
like f- usually for the longest time ever it was very easily and cheap to live in the state of Georgia. Like it just was because it's a lot of empty, but the further you get away from Atlanta, the more it goes back to normal
Hmm.
or whatever you want to call normal, or woods and river and no people and things that I like.
Heck yeah, man. Very possible on the population thing.
And hopefully dinosaurs.
So dinosaurs, do you think that maybe that these like T-Rex skulls and stuff could be dragons and they just don't know what the hell they're doing?
I think they're dragons, bro.
Like,
I still think dragons exist. And there's been a whole bunch of more dragon sightings recently than normal.
we did a dragon episode, didn't we?
We totally did a dragon
If you
episode.
guys, if you guys want to go back, definitely a dragon episode back.
I have it
months ago
easily
or so.
accessible over there on the on my website underneath
really?
underneath the Red Pill Jimbob on the Red Pill project
Oh,
on
thank you,
unconstitutionalawakening.com. You can access all of the episodes that me and Vince have done together.
So that's unconstitutionalawakening.com. It's in the description below if you guys want to check out the archives there and the new stuff too. And come back and let us know how you loved it.
Yeah, we got some good stuff. Like me and you got to talk on Saint Germain again because I keep running into him.
You keep running into people bringing it up.
Like in so many different conversations, all of a sudden somebody will be like, "Oh, Comte de Saint Germain," and I'll be like, "Wait, just a minute. How is he tied back into this story?"
Yeah, dude, that's so weird. So we did an episode on Lord Saint Germain, and then after that, it just kept coming up over and over again. Like, how many times with you? A few times, and just
Dude,
different guests.
he just different guests, like the dude that went inside of Mount Shasta, and this Mason that I had on that we were talking some Frankus stuff,
Okay.
and like just a couple
So-
other random other guests in different conversations. Somebody would be like,
touch
"Oh
on-
yeah."
I want to touch on that. So that's bizarre. But Lord Saint Germain was like this person who people believe that he had the elixir of life and that he's lived for hundreds of years, traveled
He's
the
immortal,
globe,
bro.
and that he may be at Mount Shasta because there's an underground thing there. What artifact did your buddy have?
Dude, he had these alien type hieroglyph hand carved crystal Like I don't even.
Okay.
They're so hard to explain. Like you can actually see photos of them on. Uh, it's an episode with Lowell Johnson. It's like 83.
Okay.
He was on there twice because it was a two-part kind of thing. There's episodes separated out, and he's actually even on the website. If you go on to the unconstitutionalawakening.com at the UA Social, you can at Lowell Johnson and ask him anything, and he will totally respond to you. He is a
Awesome.
very awesome guy, and just wants to help get his story out. And you know me, man. Like I'm not here to deny your experience. Like if you told me that you went inside of Mount Shasta and had an experience with the people that live in there,
Yeah.
I'm the guy that's going to believe you.
Me too. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm the same way.
So, and I love stuff like that. But he started bringing up Saint Germain, and I was like, wait, what? Wait a minute,
Yeah.
hang on, pump the brakes.
Yeah.
And then like 2 days later, we were having a conversation about declassified FBI documents that say Adolf is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And
Very
guess who come
possible.
back up? Guess who come back in the conversation?
Hitler.
Saint Germain.
Oh, sorry. That's weird.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. That Adolf, yeah. There's FBI declassified documents
Yeah. I
that
believe
claim
that.
he's still alive.
Of course.
Or well, not today. He died in the 80s. There was,
Oh.
dude. We went in depth in it in last
makes sense.
Monday's episode of my show because I had to go in about it because
Yeah, the Nazi regime is still alive and well,
maybe under Antarctica.
and on the surface among us, and in Ukraine. It's true.
It's been fun, Vince. I've missed you, buddy. Like I like my
Thank you,
weekends
man.
hanging out with you, man. Like
Me
we
too.
still
it's
got to
fun.
get you over there on my show just to hang
Yeah,
out. But
so definitely, and anytime. So I think I'm in a good position to go on. Last time I hung you out to dry, and I missed our show, but I do want to get over there and shoot the stuff for sure. So we'll have to plan something out. Let me know when, and I'll be there, dude.
sweet.
Saint Germain might still be alive, John. We don't know.
Did you catch up on any of your movies that you have a
No.
long list of?
No, I have not been doing a lot of any media at all. I haven't used a computer in a month and a half, except yesterday. I got set up. So I've been building a house and fishing and bullshit. So I've just been busy.
It's been nice though, I bet, huh?
It's been nice, yeah. Even today, I chopped a bunch of wood, cut trees,
All right.
cleared a little bit. Yeah, it's been just busy. Insane.
Vince out there making it work.
Yeah, trying to survive. But yeah, it's all good. But I did want to go and talk about Peru, Lake Titicaca, Bolivia. Heard of it? I know you have.
I have.
It's a very interesting location, and it kind of relates to what we're talking about because there's a lot of diversification as far as species go, and I forget what they call it, but when there's a species that's only found at that location, they have a lot of that happening there. And it's a massive lake in South America where they even found nearby shark remains. And this is one of the highest altitude lakes. Where is it? Like 12,500 feet above sea level. They found shark remains. And this ties into ancient civilizations, underwater temples.
That's a place I could get lost forever, bro.
The Inca people state that it was that Lake Titicaca was the birthplace of the sun and their people. And they create these floating islands there today, and they just they're little 50 by 50 islands, and they build little huts on them, and it's pretty damn cool. But that place is just weird, and there's claims, a lot of people claim that there's seahorses in that lake. Did you know that?
Big seahorses.
Big seahorses? Unbelievable. Yeah, 90% of the wildlife there are endemic species, which means they're not found anywhere else, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, it's another one of those places that's has like very alien like creatures that
And
you
UFOs ish,
yeah.
sightings.
Well, I mean, like when you start like there's places in South America, more other places in South America. There's places in Asia, even in America, that there are certain creatures and critters and creepy crawlies or whatever that don't exist anywhere else.
Yeah,
And this is another one of those places that it's like walking into another realm because it just doesn't make sense how there are things there that especially where they are and with that being as high as it is
yeah,
like was it one time the water level that high or did that just
right.
rain and fill up? Did that fill up, was was there just why is there a giant crater there that there's water filled into now? There's all
One
kinds of
theory,
questions you could have.
one theory is that the mountain split and then it filled.
Nice.
I don't know.
Oh.
It's fascinating, man, and it's extremely deep to where they could even put ships on it. It's like they don't do that in other lakes that high up in altitude. That's not normal. It's
Mm.
bizarre. It's
The
absolutely
highest
fascinating.
navigable lake in the world.
Yeah. So very interesting
It,
stuff.
its surface elevation is 12,507 feet.
Yep.
That's that's
It's
high up, bro.
it's massive too. Yeah, it's a massive lake.
The pictures are beautiful. I mean, if you want to look at something amazing, y'all should just totally just pop Lake Titicaca into the thing and just look at the pictures. Like it's a beautiful.
Definitely do it, guys.
I'd
But
love, definitely a place I'd love to visit.
for sure, and there's good tourism over there. A lot of good ruins. There's ancient ruins there and stuff, and of the past civilization that they lie to us about, probably. But
Probably super advanced one.
I have to start wrapping things up though. Jim Bob, thank you for joining me. I got things coming up I gotta go handle. But you guys, I'm so happy to be back and can't wait to get the ball rolling again. Tomorrow's show is tentative. I'll know probably tomorrow morning. Yeah. And but back to normal schedule starting Monday. So you guys also visit Jimbob Ovalshorts unconstitutionalawakening.com. Unconstitutional Awakening. You got the merch there and everything too. So link is in the description. Also, if you go to socialredpill.com, we're going to open up a Zoom here in about an hour or half hour, an hour. Actually, it's open right now, but I'll be joining in about a half hour, 45 minutes or so. Joshua Reed will be jumping on there tonight to say hi, say hello. You guys could do a little Q&A session and see how he's doing and ask him questions and let him know how awesome the show was tonight and how it made you think and that you're happy that we're back. I'm just kidding. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. We're going to start again. And if you guys are new, Morning Coffee, Monday through Friday with myself and Andrea. We go through the news and we just lay it all out there and we discuss what's going on, followed by the Daily Dose, Monday through Friday, where Josh dominates the explanation of what's going on and ties it all together and strings the pearls of the narrative. So on the weekends, we'll go another direction. During the week, we try to stay informed. So you guys, please check all the shows out. Thank you so much for joining us. Jim Bob, I'm so happy to be back. I can't wait to be on your show. Let me know when. Let's do it as soon as possible. So
Bro, we'll get you on this coming week, bro.
Oh, hell yeah. So I'll get my Unconstitutional Awakening cherry popped. And you guys are all invited to check that out once we get it posted. Jim Bob's over there on the social red pill too. If you guys want to hit him up, he is there.
I will respond. I'm there.
Yep. So thank you all. Godspeed. Enjoy your weekends. God bless. And thank you, Jim Bob. See you all soon.